Hello everyone and welcome. Those of us who live the prepared lifestyle do a lot of things that I guess you call normal people don't do. And one of those things is reloading. Now right now we're in the middle of a ammunition shortage, and I mean all components are in short demand, especially primers. Now this time of year I normally swap over from just regular old ammunition to reloading hunting ammunition. Now, one of my preferred guns when I'm hunting thick brush and all that is my Marlin 336 30-30. Now, one of the traditional rounds for the 30-30 is the 170 grain semi-jacketed round nose bullet, and another one is the 170 grain round nose lead bullet. Now, with the advent of polymer tips, it was only an eventuality that it would find its way into the 30-30, 45-70, so forth and so on, to extend its range. So today I'm going to load some 160 grain Hornady FXTs for the 30-30 for my hunting season. So let's go in the shop and get started. So these are the cartridges that I'm going to use. They're just regular old run-of-the-mill Winchester 30-30 cartridges that I've fired maybe once or twice, something along that line. The first thing I do when I reload any cartridge that I have fired maybe once or twice is I'll take and polish the outsides of them so that I can see if there's any cracks or separations from the head or anything like that. And to do that, I've got a threaded 30-30 shell holder that has a bit on here that you can chuck up in your drill. It just fits in like so, and you screw that down and tightens up. So this one looks good. I don't see any cracks or separations from the base or anything like that. Now I just move on to the next one. Now that I got all my cases inspected, I need to check the overall length of the case. And I'm looking for 2 inches and 30 thousandths. So that one's good. This one's a little on the long side, so I'm going to trim it up. That'll work. With all my cases prepped, I'm now going to make up a dummy round. The thing with these FXT bullets is you have to move the stem on your seating die just about all the way down. So I've got my bullet seated to about the depth I want it for my dummy round. Now I'm going to try it out in the gun and see how it functions. Well, I didn't see any issues with it functioning. So, may just be, some people's guns, I don't know. This dummy round works really well, so that's what I'm going to go with. Now that I have my dummy round, I can go ahead and prime my cases. And to do that, I'm going to use a Ram Prime die by Lyman. With the Ram Prime, you just set your primer in on the top like that, and take and slide your case in and just push down a little bit like so. Now that I have my cases primed, I can now add my powder. And I have two different types of powder that I normally use with this round. I have the Hodgdon 4895 and I have the Accurate LT32. I really like both of these, but today I think I'm going to go with the H4895. Okay, so going to the manual, the 160 grain Hornady FXT and 4895 to start would be 27.8, and the maximum is going to be 30. All right, so now I got my lead dipper kit out. I'm going to check on the scale here. There's 48.95, and I'm looking for a start of 27.8. So if I go down here to 0.5, that's 6.9. 0.5 is 6.9. And then I come down to the 1.60 is 22 grains. So 1.60 is 22. Add them both together and I've got 28.9. So adding these two dippers together, I end up with 28.9, which is just a little over 1 grain of the start and well below the maximum. So that's what I'm going to use, is the 0.5 dipper and the 1.60 dipper. Now that I've got the correct dippers, it's time to charge the case. With that done, I can now seat my bullets. Now I can add the crimp. When I go to crimp my bullets, I'll do it once, then rotate it a quarter of a turn, and then do it again, rotate it a quarter of a turn. Now whether or not that helps with it being centered up, I don't know, but that's just the way I like to do them. And there's the last one. Here's my fully loaded FXT rounds, and I only did 6 because that's the capacity of the gun. Now I'm going to take and load the rifle with all 6 rounds and see how they cycle. Now I did have one hang up in here and I don't really know why. Like I said, once I cycled it a couple of times, it actually came on through, and the rest of them were able to cycle through the rifle. In reloading the Hornady FTX for the 3030, when I got all 6 rounds into the magazine and cycled them through, it had a tendency to hang up. So once I got them all out of the gun, I took just some regular round nose and loaded them in there and tried to cycle them through. And I had a hang up again, so that told me that my gun needed to be cleaned and lubed. And once I did that, they cycled fine. So if you have problems with reloading the Hornady FTX or the FTX ammunition itself, cycling in your lever action gun, I would take and clean the gun and lube it and all that kind of good stuff, and then try it again. So thank you for watching. We'll see y'all next time.